Hey beauties, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the one and only Clean Beauty Podcast. Did you know that in America, cosmetics are not regulated? Companies are free to add thousands of potentially harmful ingredients that personally cause me to have health problems. Hi, I'm the creator of Lash Binder and your host, Cassandra McClure. I've worked in the beauty industry worldwide for over 10 years as a wedding and celebrity makeup artist. Now, I'm on a mission to ban 1,500 ingredients by advocating for cleaner and greener cosmetics. Join me every Monday right here for a new episode on the Clean Beauty Revolution.
All right, we are back with another episode, a special edition of the Clean Beauty Podcast. And I love these ladies that I'm working with so much. And first, we're going to talk about guided meditation because that's cool. And we have the Clean Beauty Retreat coming up on February 29th. Where Erin's going to be coming to guide us through a meditation. And she was just telling me about what that would look like. And I didn't even know. So I wanted to share that and talk about that and how it relates to the products and how you implement the products into that and what that's all about. So let's start there and introduce yourselves.
I'm Erin.
I'm Annika, and we're from Ancient Harmony Healing.
Yep. So the meditations, as far as our intention sprays go, I've talked in previous podcasts about how those are our mini meditations. But for a longer, more in-depth meditation, we're working on providing downloadable meditations that you can use. And as far as on the beauty retreat, what we'll be doing is we'll be clearing the room with the sprays. So essentially we go around and we spray the sprays. It's a nice fragrance and it kind of raises the vibration. And if there was any negative energy that was in the space before, it clears that. So I like doing beginning meditations lying down because I feel like you should be as comfortable as you possibly can. I know that a lot of meditation guides disagree with that, but this is just my personal experience. I think you should be comfortable.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have back problems so the meditations that I like focusing on are letting go of energy blocks that you have inside yourself so that when you come out of the meditation, you're going to feel energized and you're going to feel focused and ready to take on whatever's next. They're about a half an hour and I will take you through, usually we'll start in kind of a nature-like setting and I'll just take you visually through a healing sequence. And I'm really excited about doing that for everybody. I think it's going to be fun with all that energy in the room. And I don't know if there's tickets left, ladies, but if there is.
Yeah, you could share your code. Use Ancient Harmony Healing and get $50 off. Yeah, totally. So it is very limited. I think we'll have about 20 women there. A lot of female energy, and really excited to have you come and do that. I'm so excited. And what do you think is something, because it is a deterrent, like for me thinking about meditating like this, it is. So what do you think makes a guided meditation different with you than with anybody else?
I think just awareness of how painful they can be you know, and a lot of practice and working with other people and just seeing what their response is. And I think with me, my number one concern is, are you in a comfortable space? And can I give you visuals? Can I lead you visually in a way that you're not going to wander too much? So it kind of, I know a lot of people in meditation like to practice bringing their attention back in themselves, but my intention is not to give space to practice of you focusing. It's more for you just to provide a platform and a medium for you to follow my focus, so that you can just let it all go.
Awesome.
Yeah, Erin's been guiding meditations, I mean, ever since I could remember. We're cousins. So as a child, she would lead meditations, and she still does it at family events. So she has a lot of practice, and it's always so comfortable. It's great for people who have never meditated before, or for people who do it regularly. And she can guide all kinds of different meditations. So calming ones, connecting ones, spiritual ones. It's really amazing.
Do you use any sound or light? Do you recommend in the dark, or do you use music, or what else? What other things do you implement?
I like to dim the light, and if it's fluorescent, it depends on the kind of light. If it's fluorescent, I want it off. But if it's incandescent, I'll just dim it or turn it off. And we will be using music that was produced by Shannon's husband, Kevin Chaya. So Shannon's another co-founder of Ancient Harmony Healing, and he has provided a really lovely series of meditation songs for us to use.
I need to meet these other founders.
I know.
Why aren't they ever
They're in
around?
Chicago.
They're in Chicago.
Okay.
So yeah,
Is that hard to work on another time zone with other schedules?
Yeah.
we're getting really good at mobility, like being a mobile, functional company where, you know, we have to do things a little differently. And our products are actually being carried in a couple stores over there, so like we're more, we have more foundation over there than we do over here. But it's because, you know, we just launched this side of it over here. So
Got it. So are these products that we're talking about today, the refreshers, are they similar to a toner, or what is the difference between a refresher and a toner?
a toner is going to close the pores. A refresher is not really going to be affecting what's going on with your pores. It's going to temporarily moisten and plump the skin. It can also be used as a setting liquid. And it has a very, very light moisture on it. But the special things about these refreshers is the base of it is a rose geranium hydrosol. And rose geranium is one of my favorite herbs to work with because it has an effect on your oil glands. If you're too oily, it'll calm that down. And if you're too dry, it'll start trying to increase the oil in your face. So it's an oil balancer is what I like to call it. And this one is a very, it's one of my favorite products because it's from seed to bottle. We grow the plant organically ourselves. We distill it organically, and we distill it with our own equipment. We know exactly what's happened with this plant, and it has allowed us to create this amazing product that comes out just so stable every time, and it doesn't need any preservatives besides like a little bit of biodynamic silver hydrosol.
Okay. And what's the ingredient that you grow?
The rose geranium.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Does it grow fast or?
Yeah, it looks like, you know, those like traditional Italian planter boxes they have in front of their windows. It's basically one of those plants, but it's rose geranium, so it's a little bit larger and more scentful.
It has very small flowers, and the scent of the leaves is like a kind of earthy rose smell.
Peppery, lemon,
Yeah. And I used to, before Ancient Harmony Healing was even started, I had one small plant that I grew in my yard, and I used to before I would go and take the leaves and literally like rub them on my skin and on my clothes because they smell so good.
Oh, wow. So is that a little bit of a preview of what's next? You guys gonna do a little
perfume leaves.
Yeah, and then the other thing that we add to these are essential oils. So they are perfumed through the hydrosol as well as the essential oils. Mm-hmm. So we have customers that have also used these in rooms to refresh rooms because aerosol sprays are so toxic.
Oh, yes.
And these are amazing for just like uplifting the scent in a room. Or the lavender one, I've heard a mom use them for her children to help them go to sleep at night on their pillow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, like everything else, they're crystal infused. If you hold the bottle up to the light, you're going to see little crystals floating around in there.
So they've got high vibes in them too.
I love it. And the hydrosol, you mentioned that, and you just tell us what that is. And
so a hydrosol, I think it's usually described as the byproduct of making essential oil, but I describe it more as kind of a division of essential oil from the water. So you're going to have this fresh, pure water going in at the lowest temperature that you can keep it, steamed through the plant, and the plant is in a totally different chamber, and then you cool that steam down as quickly as you can, and it separates the water from the essential oil, and the water will be floating there, and either you'll have essential oil that's heavier than the water going down to the bottom, or you'll have it float on top. But
in the air?
No, in the water.
Yeah.
So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So at the end of it, you're going to have all that separation. But what people might not know is that there are very small particles of that essential oil evenly distributed in that beautiful, pure water. And that's your hydrosol. So it is mellow enough to be able to spray directly on your skin, and you wouldn't want to do that with an essential oil. Obviously, it's way too concentrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know that there has been like articles and things that I've read about people using oils topically, like on their skin, and then going outside and getting burned, and like that would never happen with these because they're so diluted that it's safe even to use like outside.
Yeah,
right?
and actually I think that rose geranium essential oil has a mild scattering effect on the light particles. So I think it has something like a 5.6 SPF. It's a very mild, low sunscreen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So a couple of the other ingredients, are they pretty similar? So they all have the silver,
Yeah.
the hydrosol, and why distilled water?
We don't, when you're using water, you want to take the minerals out when you're doing distillation, just because they can affect the end product. You can't really be sure what type of minerals and how much and how they're going to interact with the essential oil. Are they going to be, is it going to dilute? Is it going to change?
The scent.
The scent of it or the longevity of it. So you want to keep that pure. You can either use distilled or you can use reverse osmosis.
Oh, very cool. So the differences are really just in the oil, so that are the essential oils. So that one's jasmine, one's rose, and one's lavender. Got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then the amethyst and the rose quartz, those are the crystals inside.
Yeah, those are the stones that we use for all the refreshers. So the rose quartz is all about softness and love energy, and the amethyst is more about, I think, spiritual expansion, or if you want to look at it in a different way, just kind of self-growth. I like to think of it. Helps you connect to yourself.
So where does the idea of rose quartz being what you just said, like calm and love and like, where did that come from?
That's a great question.
I have really tried to pin it down. But you can find, there's ancient texts that use certain types of stones for different things. You can find it in like old Egyptian texts.
Cleopatra used rose quartz for her beauty.
So, I mean, I think that if you look at each culture, there's similarities, just like every culture, people smile. Every culture, for some reason, rose quartz is used as soft love. So, and I mean, in the New Age, they've definitely landed on rose quartz being that one thing. But I say, any stone or anything you work with, just kind of use your intuition and see what you feel like.
Okay. And in an earlier episode, you mentioned that you source the different crystals from different places that are, or better, like sourcing. So can you talk about how there might be, I don't want to say evil crystals, but crystals that might not come from the best place, so they might not have the best energy.
Right.
So like where and how, is it kind of like mica where, kids are mining for it?
Is it
like diamonds
mining.
or?
It's
Okay.
mining. So it's not about necessarily the crystals not having good energy. It's about what are we doing to earth to get them.
Got it.
Are we going into riverbed and digging it up, or are we, is it created in a lab, or like what are we doing to get them? So, you want to go to places that, or find people that can broker something that either has some kind of certification, or that you personally know, that it's safe. So
Okay.
It's hard. I think it's hard to pin down exactly where everything comes from, because a lot of the brokers that you can find out there, they themselves, like someone can say, oh, it's from here, or this or that, or the certificate, things that are faked. But I think generally speaking, do the best research that you can and use your intuition. Try to connect with the people yourself and look in their eyes and see what happens.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So you don't really want to just trust getting, your jade roller off of Amazon, like that comes from China, because that could just be mined in the worst way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or it could be lab created too.
Yeah.
There's it's not necessarily a bad thing. I've worked with lab created crystals before. There's a slightly different feel, but it's debatable about whether or not they're as effective as ones that you get out of the earth.
And once the bottle is done, do you recommend taking the crystals out? Like, do you?
You can totally save the crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We put them in like plant bed or like
Plant bed, definitely.
Plants would really appreciate
inside
that.
your vases, like
Yeah.
flowers.
Yeah, on your windowsills so they can soak up the sun.
Very cool. And there is something with crystals that you do that, right? You let the energy from the moon or the sun, right? It
Totally.
re-energizes them. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we soak them in sea salt water in the sun for at least 4 hours.
So we put them in large jars, and then we put them out in the sun. And so the sun's rays are able to protrude through the jar, which they're clear, and then through the water. And so they're just able to just get warm and then be bathed in the sun.
And I invite people to experiment with it. It's like if you get two stones that look similar, try clearing one and don't clear another, and like have someone, hold both out and see if you can feel a difference.
Ooh.
Do little experiments to start to get to know, because people, I think, so quickly dismiss it because they think that there's no quantifiable scientific evidence for how they work. But if you work with it long enough and you do your own experiments, like planting crystal bed on the bottom of one plant but not on the other, you'll find that the one with the crystals in it grows much better with less water,
With less water.
less sun.
Very interesting. And is that how you grow some of your?
We've definitely experimented with it, for sure. Yeah. It's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you also have some bath soap. So let's talk about that.
So the bath soaks also have a statement of intention. We brought our most popular bath soak, which is Alone Time. And the statement of intention on this one is, I love you all, but I need to recharge. So definitely probably for women, maybe moms.
Yeah.
But we use Himalayan salt. We also use sea salt from the Celtic region, or the Celtic Sea. And then we use pure high quality essential oils. And it just makes for a really nice aromatherapy bath session. So, and I invite people that do take the time to take baths to really think about the statement of intention when they're getting into it. Because it's like, you can do your bath, you can get in your bath, and your mind is spinning and spinning and spinning. But it's like, if you take the moment to say, no, I'm just going to read this one thing, and just for this 1 second feel that. And if you do it enough times, eventually you start shifting, your mind frame starts shifting, and things get easier.
Yeah. So no phones in the bathtub.
Right.
Unless you're just
No emails in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's not so relaxing.
I do it. So these come in little packets for those of you that aren't watching on the video online. They're listening on iTunes or wherever you might be listening from. So they're little packets, and I don't know how much this is, but it's it's like reminds me of a seed packet.
Yeah, totally.
Really cool.
It's a quarter cup.
And that's all you need for one bag.
Mm-hmm.
And how much are these online?
$4.75.
$4.75, and you can get these at ancientharmonyhealing.com.
Yeah, we have the bigger bottles too, but we find that Americans don't take a whole lot of baths. So
Yeah, we don't take much time for ourselves.
yeah.
No, we don't. And you know, in California with the crisis of water and people
Yeah.
feeling bad about it, it's like
Yeah, but you can also use them as a foot soak.
Yeah.
Or
Ooh.
so I do that too.
a good
If
idea.
I don't have time for a bath, I just do a foot soak.
okay, I like it. And you also have lip balm.
Okay. So our lip balms are, you could eat them, but we don't think you should put anything on yourself that you couldn't eat, you know. They are made with olive oil, coconut oil, and they're organic. They also have, those oils were infused with rose quartz, and some of them are rose quartz, amazonite, and amethyst. And we have one that is minty spring, and that has a statement of intention on there, which is
Fresh as spring and ready for my day.
so. Think about it every time you put it on. Be like, yeah,
It
this is-
smells amazing.
So
oh my
the,
God.
the peppermint that we use in that is
Can I try this?
yeah, it's food grade organic peppermint. I could push it up
So
if
you
you want.
push it up to do it?
Yeah. So these are we use recycled cardboard for our chopsticks because we don't use plastic whenever we can.
And you probably don't want to leave these in your hot car. If
You
live in
actually
Actually,
can.
you can.
It's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
super, super sustainable.
The
in car.
cardboard's gonna get a little oily if you leave it in a hot place.
Wow.
But it won't melt itself. So it's formulated to leave a nice glossy sheen and just to it's pretty. So it's almost like a lip gloss, but it's in a chopstick form.
I love it. It feels amazing.
It
I love
does.
the mintiness.
It's tingly.
And then the other one is honey.
It's honey sweet. So our honey sweet, we source our honey and our beeswax that we use as an emulsifier in these from a local organic beekeeper who we love. And the honey sweet actually has raw wildflower honey in it. And that helps actually for your lips to absorb more oil.
Ooh. Good to
And
know.
the peppermint is a really great antibacterial. Like peppermint's really good at killing bacteria, so it's also good for the peppermint one to have on your mouth.
Oh, very good. Good. So when your dog licks you, you're like, all right. Good little tip. I love it. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming on again. You have a special code for our listeners to use on your website, Ancient Harmony Healing.
.com.
Yes, and the code is Clean Beauty Podcast for 20% off. Really excited. If you guys want to try any of these amazing products, go check out their website. Do you have any other products that that are in the works this year, 2020,
So
that you can talk about
Where
yet?
did we start?
there's one that I have. We've gotten to a place where I feel like it's almost ready for a launch, but we're just getting our feet. So we already have a lot of product out there, but it's a natural kind of shea body butter base, but the way that it's formulated and the way that it's made keeps the oils very dry, so it's a dryish kind of feeling, and then once you have it on, it makes it so it absorbs quickly, because shea butter is really thick and emollient, but if you formulate it a certain way, you can get a really nice, light, buttery feeling. It just took a lot of work to get it to that.
I'm excited. That's awesome.
So we've got that, and then I'm also working on a water-based lotion for people that have a lot of skin issues, but that probably will not be launched in 2020 because it's taking a lot of experimenting and figuring it out, because I feel so strongly about not using preservatives. So there's a lot of testing that has to be done on that still.
Very cool. And how long has Ancient Harmony Healing been around?
We launched 1 year ago last week, right?
Oh, congrats.
And then the skincare line was born in November 1st.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Clean Beauty Podcast. I'm so thankful for your support. For information on my tour schedule, upcoming events, press announcements, joining my Clean Beauty team, or to book me to speak at your next event, head over to my website, CassandraMcClure.com.